The Bermuda government is proposing a 10% across-the-board salary cut for all government workers as it seeks to reduce spending in light of the economic damage caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. 10% is too much and should not include essential workers. Is the premier and his entourage taking a pay cut as well? My company had pay cuts ranging from 3 to 22%. An across-the-board pay cut doesn't seem fair. The grocery stores are having to increase their prices because of their costs. It's one crazy circle, and who loses? Us, the people. Sad. Okay, so where are we here? We have another dust-up with the government versus the unions. This is a tale as old as time, and here's the latest on it. Bert rails against talk leaks. The premier complained last night that negotiations with unions and employers associations had gotten to the public domain. An angry David Bert lamented the release of sensitive negotiations with unions being shared with the public, as he revealed that a multi-million-dollar savings deal was in the works with government workers. Now, where have we seen this before? Now, let's rewind it back a few years to the previous government. Let me set the scene. The OBA is in power. We're experiencing massive amounts of debt. It's not getting any smaller, it's only rising, and the government chooses to tackle that by trying to lower expenses. And to do that, they need to negotiate with the unions. Long story short, what that came down to was basically, the implementation of furlough days. Furlough days are mandatory days off where you're not getting paid. So you let some people stay home, they don't get paid, the government saves money, no one gets laid off. It was seen as a compromise. But unfortunately, as is shown in recent budget reports, it didn't work. You know, the deficit just kept rising, debt kept rising, expenses did not come down all that much, or not nearly enough as they needed to. So anyway, the beat goes on, you know? We borrow more money, the debt increases, beat goes on, beat goes on. So fast forward a few years, and what's the situation we're in now? The coronavirus has hit, and now it's becoming a situation where the government cannot ignore this problem anymore. Because the situation that they can't ignore is that the coronavirus has completely wrecked our economy. You know, like, we're not gonna have a tourist season this year. Businesses are closing, people are having their wages cut, but it's all happening on the private side. The public side, as of today, hasn't really experienced much of anything. No one's losing their jobs, no one's had their wages cut, nothing like that. So this raises the question, how does the government operate on the same levels as it did previously with a whole lot less money coming in? There's less money coming in, there's less people contributing to the economy, and we're supposed to believe that they can just continue operating like this. Well, they don't even believe that. The only people that believes that at this point is the unions, because that's what this leaked letter was all about. When you look in it, you can see that the government's making proposals, among a bunch of things. I don't want to misrepresent it, but among a bunch of things, they proposed a 10% wage cut. Well, the theory is they wouldn't actually see a reduction in their take home, because while their wages were being cut, they would stop contributing to their pension to kind of offset that. But the union was having none of it. As you can see in the leaked documents, they don't want any of that, right? So they made some counter proposals that the government doesn't agree with, and it's going back and forth. It's interesting. It's interesting to see how this is taking shape and how it's going to go. I'm really interested to see how it's going to go, because the elephant in the room is, like I said before, government has to cut expenses. Like, coronavirus made it inevitable because it has done such a number on our economy that it's inevitable at this point. Let's look at what Dickinson, the finance minister, said about it. He said, Government revenues were likely to come in at between 175 million and 200 million short of the 1.12 billion projected by the government. That means the government's gonna bring in projected $200 million less than they were expecting. 200 million. They need to make that up somewhere because we can't borrow anymore. The other thing he said was the total net government debt outstanding could rise to approximately 3 billion, which is 100 million above the current statutory debt ceiling of 2.9 billion. So we're backed up against the wall here, and it ain't getting no better. So the solution is going to have to be for the government to cut expenses. But how do they do that? How do they do that when the unions won't allow them to do it in an efficient manner? And how do they fight the unions, knowing that that's their base and the whole reason they got elected into power in the first place? That's the situation we're in. And I'm interested to see where it goes, you know? So keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on the channel. I'll keep trying to break things down for people so you don't have to do the dirty work, you know? I'll dig through all these documents and all these news stories so you can just sit back and enjoy your day, right? So anyway, interesting. If you have any comments, you have any thoughts, how are the government going to solve this? How are they going to solve this? You know, leave your comment down below. Like the video, share it around, see what other people think. And one more thing before I go. So in the last video, we smashed through 600 subscribers. So thank you very much for the support. Thank you everyone for reaching out to me and, you know, all the kind words, all the not so kind words too. I appreciate all feedback. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so we're at like almost 650 now. Let's aim for 700. Right, I'll see you in the next video.